trend of the Forex movement where you get free strategies and free indicators and free robots. Okay, so that will help us push our target to get more people into the movement, and so that they can experience what you are currently experiencing while watching this video. Now, before I continue, please do stay until the end of the video so that you do not have a lot of questions for me to answer, because the first thing I will definitely do before answering your question is read it and see, did you apply everything I said in the video? Okay, because that's where I'm going to direct you, and once you watch the video you actually start learning more than trying to put something on your chart and then figuring it out for yourself. So you're going to have to do that, because I was always told at Forex, if you do it the easy way, you're going to learn it the hard way. But if you learn it the hard way, you're going to learn it the easy way. So basically what that quote tells me is that if you're going to do things the easy way, like just getting the strategy and applying it, and you do not have the basic knowledge behind why this was there, you will just enter and fail all the time. Now, if you do put a lot of practice into it and you start trading on a demo and you're pushing and you're seeing results on a weekly basis, that means you have done it the hard way. Now the easy part comes. Okay, but if you've done it the easy way, where you just wanted the strategy and you got the strategy but you don't know what you are doing, in the end you're going to have to come back to the same video and watch it again and learn it the hard way. So rather do it the hard way and then do it the easy way. Okay, so first thing, we need to look at what indicators or what are we using on this. So I know for a fact that the first one that I entered was an envelope. Okay, so the envelope, you can see it's period 60, your shift is 0, your deviation is 0.9, your method is smooth, you apply to close, and you leave the upper band red and you leave the lower band green. Okay, so the reason why it indicates that it's green and red is because red and green will give us the nice colors. Okay, red means sell, green means buy. Okay, let's move on. So Ichimoku, you're going to put it at Tenkan Sen 9. You're going to put your Kinjin Sen at 36. Your Senkung Span B will be 42. Then Tenkan Sen, you're going to make it the color of your background. Okay, if your background is black, you make it black. If your background is blue, you make it blue. If your background is white, you make it white. Okay, then Kenjin Sen, we're going to make it blue. Your upper Kumo, you're going to make it green, and your down Kumo, you're going to make it red. Okay, but the only ones we do need is the up Kumo and the down Kumo. The reason why we need them is to see when is the buy highlighted or when is the red highlighted, so a sell. So green means buy, red means sell. Just remember those colors. Okay, then you're going to add another one. The period is 60, the shift is 0, your deviation is 2005. Okay, or you can say 2.5. You're going to apply method smooth and you're going to apply to close. Don't change the colors. Okay, if you know what you're doing, you can change the colors. And then period 60, 0.450. okay, that's for deviation. Method is smooth, apply to close, upper band 2, lower band 2. Okay, you can change the pixels if you like. I'm just giving you the settings. Then period is 60, deviation is 0.880, method smooth, apply to close. Okay, then let's move on. The reason why I'm moving on fast is because there's a lot of stuff that you need to add. Okay, and I know for a fact if we continue this video for another 3 minutes, a lot of people already lose interest by the 5th minute. So the reason why I'm doing it this fast is so that you can do it and apply it and then just listen to my explanation. Okay, so same thing applies. Let's look at the next one. It's period 60, shift is 0, deviation 0.830, and then you're going to apply to smooth and close, and then you leave the colors exactly the way they are. Then you're going to do period 60, shift is 0, 1.655 is your deviation. Method smooth, apply to close, you leave the color. Okay, let's move on. Then is 60, shift 0, deviation 1.670. You're going to apply smooth at close, you're going to apply to close, and then the color stays the same. Last one is 60, and then your shift is 0, deviation is 1.685, and your method is smooth, and the upper band red, lower band green. Okay, now for RSI window, you're going to apply the period 1. Okay, and you're going to apply to close, and you can decide what pixels you want for the lines, okay, for your level lines. So if I'm going in, you can see it's 91, 9. These are your levels, okay? So you need to add, you press on the plus sign and you're going to add these levels, okay? So you're going to add 91, you're going to apply 9, you're going to apply 50, you're going to apply 90.5, you're going to apply 90, you're going to apply 9.5, you're going to apply 10, you're going to apply 20 and 80, okay? And then the description of each one will be on your right hand side. So if you're saying 91, you're going to put sell. If you're saying 9, you're going to say buy. If you put 50, you're going to say wait or take profit. If you apply the other one, it will be 90. The other one will be 99.5, and then you can decide. And then 20 is a re-entry for a buy, and 80 is a re-entry for a sell. So we don't focus on the other levels. The other levels is just there to give us a clear indication of what's going on. Okay, so moving average, you're going to apply 15. It's simple, and you close. Okay, now the thing that I realized with this earlier on is that the shift is just going to change. So you can see the period is still 15, the shift is 1, and everything else is the same. If you look at the other one, it's 15, the shift is 2, it's a simple close. So you can see it's the same thing, but it's just the shift that is being changed. So this one is 15, and you apply with 5, okay? And let's look which one is the highest. So the highest is 7, so 15, shift is 7. So what you're going to do, right? Moving average into your RSI, you're just going to add period 15, and you're going to change the shift from 0 to 7. So you're going to go 0, then you're going to apply 7, then you're going to apply 1, then you're going to apply 2, then you're going to apply 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Then you're done. So you're going to apply each moving average in that way. So you can see I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm supposed to have 8, but you understand what I'm trying to say. So the period will be 15, and only the shift, you only change the shift, and you just say done, and then you are done. And then your chart should look like mine. Okay, so now let's look at how this works. Okay, so I'm going to explain everything individually, okay, before it all makes sense. So when you're looking at your RSI window, okay, to look for a sell, you need all your moving averages to be above your 90 level, okay? If you want to re-enter and you are in profit, you can enter again at this point where it says re-entry for a sell. Or if price went to your take profit and it reverses and it comes back to this zone, you can take a sell, and if it goes higher, you can take another sell if it goes into this area, okay? Now, when that occurs where price goes back into your area and it's at the 90, you must be asking me, where do I apply my stop loss? Your stop loss needs to be a bit higher than where you've entered the very first time. So for instance, if I had to enter here and I sold there, I would have applied my stop loss right above the highest point, okay? And then when price goes to this point, I would have applied my new stop loss at this level. So it would have been around this zone, okay? And then we can see that it was a beautiful setup, and for a buy, we do the same thing. So we can buy here and re-enter. The only time we re-enter a buy is if price goes back to my zone, and we can see that there was a re-entry here and a re-entry there. So you buy, and then these ones have already hit take profit, so you wait for these ones. Okay, hope that makes sense. So that's the only thing we need to know from the RSI. Is it a sell or is it a buy? How and when can we enter? Okay, so we're only looking at what it's giving us. Remember, our RSI is always a guide to tell us what we need to do next. Okay, so if I'm seeing a sell, I'm alerted that there is a sell about to happen, but I need to know when can I enter. When is the right time for me to enter? So when I started looking at the strategy, I figured out a few things that I don't think Supreme knows himself. Okay, because when price breaks out of my envelopes, okay, so you can see it broke out of my envelopes. Okay, so I'm speaking about envelopes now. So first envelope, second envelope, third envelope, and fourth envelope. Okay, so it's level 1, level 2, level 3, and level 4. Okay, so when price breaks all your envelopes, okay, it means that price is overbought. Okay, it cannot go any higher than this point, because that is where price needs to find support or resistance. And at this place we can see that there was a lot of rejection points. Okay, so if I saw rejection point 1 and I saw rejection point 2, I would wait for a red candle to enter, and as you can see, there was a bit of momentum still going up, but there was a beautiful reversal into what? Into my envelope. Okay, now once price breaks back into your envelope, I want you to notice something about this. Okay, is that price will go and retest that envelope. Okay, so when it retests that envelope and it rejects it and comes back into your zone and it closes on this 4-hour candle, you would have taken your very first sell trade. So I've entered there because why? I know that price is overbought. Okay, now to make it a valid trade, I know for a fact I saw a rejection at my envelope, so I'm taking this trade based on what I saw. Okay, I saw it piercing back into my envelope, so I know there is a resistance there now, and then I take a sell. Okay, so you can see after that I had profit, and then it went back there, and then it came back down, and then we see it pierce the buy, the envelope for a sell. Okay, so now it's important that you start looking at these zones, because when the zone is not broken, okay, it means there's another entry, but you need to wait patiently. You cannot just enter because you want to enter. It's not going to work. You need to wait for it to give you a perfect setup. Okay, so if I zoom in, we saw the pierce. Okay, and this is what the pierce did. We can see the pierce from a buy, and the next one is followed by a beautiful candlestick that's telling us rejection. Okay, so we sell, we enter the zone. Okay, and then this one pierces. Now remember what I said, you cannot take long trades. We explained this on the codes to you as well. Okay, if this candlestick is too long, we need to wait. Okay, because now we have already entered there, we've entered here, and now we've currently entered here. So where would we enter here? We see there's a nice rejection there. It went down. We would have sold at this point. There's another rejection, and we moved down. Okay, so now all my windows, my envelopes has given me trades, and now I also had a strong sell setup with my RSI. So where to from there? Okay, it's to look at this. So when this is highlighted, it means there's another entry for you. So there's 3 entry points with the same strategy. So if you're using this one, you can enter, right? Then you look on your chart what is going on. So you can see over here, I've entered Y because of my RSI window telling me that this is the highest point. And when you see multiple rejections, So after 3, you can confirm that you can take a sell. Okay, so you take a sell. Why? Because it's based on the form that this price cannot be broken. Okay, so when price moves back down and it pierces your envelope, okay, you start taking sells. And the reason why I'm saying so is because now we know that the momentum is on the downside. Okay, so we can see for the very first time there's a rejection there, like I explained, and we took a trade, and then it rejected there, we take a trade. Now this one will be very late. This one is always late. Ichimokus, they are always late if you apply it on your chart. Okay, so if you're going to apply this on your chart, you're going to get a very late entry waiting for all 3 confirmations, because you can get a confirmation from here, we sold, envelope, you get a confirmation to sell, and then you get a confirmation from your Ichimoku. Now Ichimoku is very slow, like I'm telling you. So when it starts highlighting red, you can take a sell, or you can use it as direction. Okay, because now you've already entered there, you've entered here, and you've entered there. Okay, so what is this going to give you? It's going to give you the trend. So when it turns red, it means it's going down. Okay, do not focus on this as an entry for a signal, but if you do want to, you can use it. Like I said, it's going to give you late entry. So you can see from there to this point, it's a very late entry, because you have to wait for the Ichimoku to open. So by the time it has already opened, I'm sure price was here already. That's why I'm saying do not use this to trade with. Okay, so now that we understand that, we need to explain exits. Okay, so I've entered up there, price came into the green zone. Now when it comes to your green zone, it doesn't mean you must continue entering. Okay, it means there's reversals around this area. If it's on your green, you hold your trades. Okay, if it breaks the first resistance line, you move your stop loss down here. So now you're locking your profits, and then TP2 will be at level number 2. So when level 2 is broken down there, you can place your stop loss on level 2, wherever your Bollinger Band or your envelope will be at that point. Okay, and then when price breaks that zone, you can see that now you're at level 3. Okay, when it breaks level 4 or it touches level 4, you exit all your trades. Do not hold on. Okay, so for a buy setup, we do the same thing. What do we see? Our RSI is oversold, right? So we look at what is happening. Rejection, rejection, rejection. We take a sell. Okay, our very first sell. Now remember what I told you. It's going to break your envelope. Now when it breaks your envelope, and like I said, Supreme doesn't know it yet, so you are the first to know about it if you have gotten this far with the strategy. Okay, so you can see that it is broken the zone, and then price retests our level. Okay, so when it retests the level, do not be afraid to enter again. Okay, so you enter again, and then what happens? We can see that price went to this area. Okay, and then when price breaks this area, we would have taken a buy around this, because it only retested and started rejecting there. So then we move up, okay, into the next zone, and in the next zone we can see another retest. So we take a buy and another buy. Okay, and then is the trend on our side with the Ichimoku? It's not. It's going for a sell. Okay, we definitely know that this is going for a sell. So what does this tell you? We're in a retracement zone. Okay, so the reason why we're going to place our very first log profit on these levels is because we know we are in a retracement area. Okay, so retracement means when price is exhausted, so it's looking for support or resistance on the other side to continue moving back down. Okay, so let's look at a few more setups, and then here's another one. Okay, so for instance, now level 1 was broken, level 2 was broken. Do you take this trade? No. The reason why you're not going to take that trade is because, for one simple reason. Okay, price never went to go and touch your level 3. Okay, if it did touch level 3, I'd have entered, but I won't enter if it's like this, because this is an early entry. Now I want you to imagine this playing out, okay? Because remember, you're going to be trading on a live chart. You're not going to be trading past charts, okay? So in a live chart, you enter here and then price moves up. It goes to that area. You're going to lose a lot of money. And the reason why I'm saying that is because if this had to go south, so you enter there and then price goes up there, what is your first initial thought? If only I waited for it to touch the area, right? And we were all going to wait for that area. Now when price breaks level 2, we can resume our sells, okay? So we can see here's a beautiful sell, and then it moves down, and then it pierces our level 1, okay? But level 1 cannot hold it, so we can see another rejection. So let me show you one. Yes, here's it right here. So you can see this is another rejection. So you take a sell and you go down. Here's another one. You take a sell, you go down. Okay, so you're already in profit of a lot, right? Because you know the trend is for a sell, so you continue selling. Okay, so like I said to you, you don't enter when it's in the green zone. You don't enter a sell for a green zone. We are using this as log profit zones. Okay, so it touches this and then we are kicked out of the market here. Because why? We were waiting for a perfect time to enter, but it never gave us that time to enter. So I'm going to zoom out again to continue explaining. Okay, so we can see that there was a buy trend, but like I said to you, by the time this turned green, price would have been up there. Okay, now if you know your rejection, so you can see there's 1, 2, you would have entered here and hold, and then your log profit would have been on the level 1 of the buy, and it would have kicked you out, but you still made a lot of profit. Okay, and then if we're looking at this setup, not a good setup, so we don't enter, but there is a retest right there. So this strategy, it works a lot with resistance. Okay, so you can see here it touches level 2 and we can see a bounce off our level 2, and then it moves back, retests, and then goes up. So if you can focus on just getting that and wrapping your mind around what I've just explained to you, you can make it within this. Okay, so I want you to focus on what I've shown you today, because it's going to grow you as a forex trader. Okay, so if you watched until the end, you would have known what to do by now. Okay, if you have any questions about this, please contact admin. They will be able to explain to you, or contact Yaish and he will give you the right format to use for this. Okay, but I gave you everything in a nutshell, and basically if you just focus on the retests and rejections, you will make a lot of money from this strategy. It's very simple to understand. You just need some price action, a little bit of price action, and you're ready to go. That's it from me, Mr. Montivino Valentine from Pride FX. Enjoy the rest of your week.
Are tuned in live with Montivino Valentine at Pride FX on Mobile Mondays. Mobile Mondays.